All right, family, we need to talk. I'm Queenie. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank God it's Financial Freedom Fridays. In just a moment, the Kingsmen will be joining us, but before they do, we have had a very tumultuous few weeks and months, and it has been incredibly emotionally draining. It's been excruciatingly painful, and there's been a lot of grief, a lot of sadness, a lot of fear, and a lot of uncertainty. And sadly, this is just the beginning. And so we've not been on for the last 2 weeks for a couple of reasons. One, just being completely honest with you, I have had the hardest time just talking about all of this without breaking down. There's been just so much pain, and I didn't want to uh, dump all that into this space, to be quite honest. But now it's time for healing to start. It's time for us to really come together and move through this powerfully. And so I wanted to open the conversation and just have a heart to heart with you today. And I'm going to bring the gentleman on so that we could all have this conversation together. Please welcome the Kingsman, Mr. Dwayne Taylor, Mr. Donovan Yarbo. Hello, gentlemen.
What's going on, family?
Hello, family. Hello, Mrs. Brown. Good to be back on the platform with you this evening.
I miss y'all. I miss our conversations.
We missed you too. Most definitely. It's been two weeks too long.
2 weeks too long. Yeah. It's been a lot, and everyone has been so charged with emotion, and with good rights, good reason. It's been a lot. So I know for me, well, before I go into me, is there something you guys want to share just to open it up?
We gonna let you go first.
All
This
right.
this, this is the one you passionate about, so we're gonna go ahead and let
All
you
right.
open.
All right. So I recognize that there is a lot of confusion out there, and I was sharing with you guys earlier today that I've had some friends reach out to me, some friends that are both my sister friends, my brown sisters, and I've also had my ivory sisters reach out to me, just because this whole everything that's going on is so racially charged, and a lot of things have just come to the surface, and I recognize that while there's a lot of pain, we all have different wounds. And so when I was on the phone with some of my ivory sisters, they were expressing their condolences and helping me understand that they really do care, and I felt their hearts, and it meant a lot for them to reach out to me, and I felt the love, and that was important. And then also, I have had my sisters reach out, and they are in pain, because we've been watching this unfold all our lives. And so when I was on the phone with one of my ivory sisters, I was explaining to her that she did not understand that racism was still real and that it still existed, and not nearly as prevalently as it is in our culture. And I explained to her that if you are one of those brown folks that have felt it, because I recognize that there are some brown folks that haven't felt it, but if you are, racism is it's like it has tentacles that reach all the way out, and they literally wrap themselves around the necks of everyone you love. And it just constantly is a squeeze, squeeze, squeeze tighter and tighter. And unfortunately, when you watch the people you love and care about hurt and feel that pain, it hurts you on a level that is just, you don't know how to deal with it, and you don't know how to heal it, and it's not fair, and it's not right, and it doesn't make sense, and you can't change it because it's a monster. But at the same time, the wounds that are created by it need to be healed. Those wounds that are created not only in our lives and in the people that we know and love, but generationally. I remember hearing stories of things that happened to my father and my uncles growing up in the deep South, and there's just so much pain. And so when I talk to my Ivory sisters about it, they're literally in shock. They're completely unaware of what has been happening all along, right under their noses. And what it boils down to is that we all have been really deeply misled about our history and deeply misled about the origin of this nation, about the origin of Black people, about the power that we hold. We have been oppressed in such a way where we have forgotten not only who we are, but what we are and the power that God put on the inside of us. There's just so much about who we are that we don't recognize, and that there is a reason why our power has been suppressed all this time. It extends so far beyond anything that we can conceive of because we've been so misled. And so, and then even with my my sister friends, they have expressed that their Ivory sisters have reached out to them in caring and compassion, but at the same time they are frustrated beyond measure because they cannot believe that people don't see this and have not been seeing this. And we've been screaming from the rafters for years, for decades, and nobody wanted to acknowledge it. And it's like being re-injured every time someone invalidates you for having your reality. And so just want to breathe. This has just been a lot. And the reason why I'm bringing it up on this conversation is because our financial freedom is connected to this. We can't separate it. Our ability to function in this culture is entirely dependent on our ability to operate freely, our ability to access our cash, be it money or be it gold or whatever, however you have your money stashed, your freedom has everything to do with your ability to connect to that cash and move in this world. And if you don't have it, you are subject to be enslaved, literally all over again. So, hey, Jackie, good to see you. Thank you. I love you too, babe. I love you too. So, it's important that we really just take a breath, first of all, and recognize that we are all in pain, that this is a shock to all of us, but it's even more of a shock to the people who have been completely unaware of of the reality that the majority of brown people on this continent and really in the world have experienced. So there's a whole lot more that I want to say, and I really don't necessarily want to say. But I want to open the floor for you guys to just kind of throw some stuff in and just let's start the conversation. And I'm going to breathe.
I'm going to go ahead and pass the baton to you, Mr. Yarbrough.
Okay, sir. I received that.